Hey, it's your girl, Diamond Drip, bringing you the business strategies and personal development insights you need in 15 minutes or less. Who is Coach Trev?
Who is Coach Trev? All right. Well, I've been in the coaching industry for about, I would say professionally, about 20 plus years. Have I been doing it majority of my life? Yeah, I would say so. I've probably been doing consulting since I've been able to use the phone. I'd like to not only talk, but really, I like to listen. I'm a fan that really likes to listen to people so that I can see what are the keys that I could potentially give them that can help them unlock any issues that they're having. And so I believe I was doing coaching before I knew that there was a term called coaching. Even though I had a master's degree that involved in that. Even before that, I never knew that there was a term called coaching. I was always that person that really wanted to help people, wanted to just be there and help them to guide them to whichever way, whatever situation they were having, personal, professional, health, any of those things. So if someone said that they were going to work out, or they were going to apply for a position, or they were going to, apply for a schooling program, I made sure that I was just that person to call them, text them, see them in person. Hey, did you do it? And when they did, I got joy out of it. So it served both purposes. That person was reaching their milestones and reaching that, and I got joy out of it. So I said, you know what, this is something that I can actually do. So I'm that person. Coach Trev just came out of that, really came out of my desire to wanting to be that person to help someone to make it through to that next level, to be able to put the to their limits so that they know that they're unlimited, to be able to help them to see through different lenses, different perspectives. I love that.
That is beautiful. I love that approach so much. And there were a few things that you called out that helped me kind of identify what your people might be saying. But who is it that you serve? Like, who is your target audience and why those people?
So I would say one group of my target audience would be, let's say, entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs. Now, an entrepreneur, as many of us know, are those that have their own business. And many times the entrepreneurs are looking to expand their business, or they've expanded their business to the point where they have staff that they want to take on. So there are certain goals that they want to reach. They see other people reaching it. They've been thinking about it for a year, for a couple of years. It's been going along, and they see everybody passing. They're not sure what it is, but it's been gnawing at them, and they're upset with themselves. They're frustrated because they haven't reached it. So that's one part of my tribe, the entrepreneur that is looking to expand, looking to develop, that knows that it will cost them more not to take action than it is to really take action, to get with a coach, to get with Coach Trev and work with them in order to reach their goals. I also work with the entrepreneurs. Now, entrepreneurs are those that are you're in the job market. You have been working in a place for a particular period of time, and you have a project that you're working on, or you've been recently promoted. Maybe you didn't have anybody and you weren't managing anybody. Now you're managing 5 people. You're managing 10, or you were managing 5 people. Now you're managing 20. You're managing 30, which congratulations on the promotion. Now you've got to come up with different values, different sets of techniques and tactics so that you can manage that larger group, that larger expectation. So those are the people that I work with, the people that know that accountability is going to be something that's going to be the lever to turn them into progression, that they know the progress there. So that's my tribe.
I love it. Very, very specific and in depth because I feel like maybe at one or two points in my life I heard the term entrepreneur, but your definition totally helps me solidify it. And I'm like, that is a hot little phrase there. I like it. Okay, cool. So, do you have any words of like wisdom, motivation, or inspiration for anyone who's in your target audience that might be feeling stuck right now?
Well, I have a couple of things. There's a term that I use that I made up because I'm a fan of words, and I like the play on words to move things around and what have you. And so I have this phrase that I say, everything's relative, but not everyone's family. There are going to be terms and words that you're familiar with, that you're accustomed to, that you have put assigned definition to, but not everybody is going to understand and gravitate to that definition. So it's about understanding that your unique position, your unique communication, that's what is going to be key. Whatever your business is, if you're attempting to get healthy, if you're attempting some personal, professional, you're attempting school, anything that you're doing, whatever your goal is, it's important to understand that your values are your values. They are valid. It's important to know that you cannot assume that just because you have your values, that everyone else is going to have those same values. You need to be familiar with various communication styles. So if you're familiar with people that are visual, people that are audio, people that deal with reading and writing, people that are kinesthetic, that's going to be important in how you translate, how you speak, because it's not about what you're saying, it's about what's being translated, how it's being heard. Because I can stand and speak to somebody for an hour, but if they don't get any of it, then that's not going to help. So that's one thing, understanding that there's that difference of definition, identification, and relativity. Also, transparency. If you are sincere about getting help, about making those first steps, you need to be transparent. Sometimes you have to take off that mask and know that this is who I am when I'm doing something. You're not just on this level. You're not talking to somebody or at somebody, you're talking with them. And the last thing is, it takes a village for a person to progress, but you have to be discerning and picking your village. You have to put the definition as to who's in your village, what's in your village, how's it going to raise you, what it's going to raise you. Just because someone says you need a mentor, you need this, doesn't mean that mentor is one person. It could be a slew of people that it takes up. You need to know what's best for you and be discerning about how you're going to put that together so that not only you progress, but the people around you progressing. It's a give and take. It's reciprocal. There's a back and forth. And as you all go, as they say, if one ship rises in a harbor, you all rise.
Oh my gosh, like goosebumps for the listeners right now. Oh my gosh, it's like just mic drop on that. Ah, okay. I am curious what insights or crucial, first steps you would have for anyone looking to maybe start a career in coaching, specifically accountability coaching, could be general coaching. Like, what tips do you have?
What I would say is first is that if you're considering being a coach or being an accountability coach, first you want to find out someone that's actually doing it. You want to get that model of who's actually doing it. I myself, I have a few coaches that handle different sections of that. Just like your doctor should have a doctor, your therapist should have a therapist, your counselor should have a counselor, your coach should have a coach. So you want to be able to have a model, have somebody that you can go to, that you can reference to and say, hey, what are your tips? I'm a strong fan of that too. If anyone had any questions, as I come to me, because I want to let you know this is where I bump my head, don't bump yours. Now, I can tell you that, and I'll tell you that, and it's a fine line too, because there are those coaches that are going to tell you this is where you bump your head, but they also have to let you know that they can't be your complete rescuer, meaning that there's going to be times where you do need to go through the storm in order to learn how you would navigate it for yourself. So this person may need to read a book, or another person may need to take a course. Whatever your method is, you will need to find out your way of doing that. So one, definitely get a coach. Two, find out what's your communication style. We talked about that previously. Because that's one of the things that I learned. I was a trainer for about almost 7 years, and I traveled to about 45 different states. I trained CEOs, CFOs, VPs of finance, all of that. First thing I would do, and I know I'm there for 4 days, I'd ask them, how do you learn? What's the best place you learn? And I pause deliberately just for that. Some people scared of that silence, but you need to find out what's the best way that you learn? What's your communication? How do you take in information? Because if you're visual and someone sends you a 300-page PDF for you to read, you're going to balk. You're going to stand back, and that PDF is going to stay in your email for 2, 3 weeks, whatever. And you're trying to translate that to visual. You need to determine what's your communication style. So get a coach, find out what your communication style is. And the third thing, start. Take action. Many people want to wait until everything is perfect, it's just right, or what have you. We all need to embrace the uncomfortable action. Embrace imperfect. It's not going to be out there, but as you're doing it, you got to be consistent. If anybody followed me, they would see my coach challenged me a year ago to this month to say, you need to get better in your videos. Make a video every day. And I made a video every day. So if you went to my site, if you went to my Facebook, you went to LinkedIn, Instagram, Lemonade, TikTok, Snapchat, all that, YouTube, I have a video on there every single day of me just promoting that. And what that did is that helped me to get better. That helped me to be able to sharpen my edges to do that. So get a coach, find out your communication style, and take action.
I love those so much. And I love how dedicated and disciplined you are when it comes to your approach of making sure, like, you're getting out there. You were like, every day. And I'm like, yes, I co-sign that so much. And, I heard this thing over the leadership experience tour, and they basically said that anyone who's really about their business writes a book about it. And from what I understand, you have a book out, and I'd love for you to just spend a little time telling us about the overall mission of the book, and then where can we connect with you within this last minute of this episode?
Sure. So the title of my book is called The Doorways of Life. The subtitle is Open Yourself Up to a New Perspective. So this was a book that I wrote and self-published. And it was definitely a work of inspiration, work of desire. So where it came from is that every decision we make is a doorway. We have to determine how we're going to go through that doorway. We have to determine who can go with us through this doorway. We have to determine, do we have access? Do we have the right keys? How are we managing that? Is it our time to go through this doorway, or do we need to spend more time in this particular room before we make progressions? So I took that analogy and I had put that all into a book. Started out as a video series and transcribed a good amount of that into a book. So that's one of the purposes of the book, is so that at the beginning of each chapter, I have a unique quote that I have on every single chapter. And then I start off with an issue, then I get to the focus. And then at the end of every chapter, there's 2 questions. And the questions they're asking you something about the particular chapter. And so that gives you time to not only read something, but to retain it, to study it, because you can read something without studying it. So my hope is that when you purchase the book, that's right, when you purchase the book, you're able to study it and get those tools, those tips that you need in order to make better, more informed, impactful decisions. You can get my book at Amazon. It's available on Barnes and Nobles. You can go to www.buythedoorwaysoflife.com. So yes, that's my book. That's out there. That gives you some insight about me, about my thought process, and my coaching style. So I hope that helps.
Thank you for imparting so much wisdom here today. It's really refreshing to get to talk to another coach who believes in accountability and just wanting to see people succeed. Just that's all we want at the end of the day. So I'm so appreciative of your presence here today. Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for this platform, for being able to talk about my book. And for anybody that's listening, thank you so much in advance for purchasing it. Anybody that wants to get with anybody, wants to get a coaching session with me, you can get on my calendar at talkwithtrevor.com. It's talkwithtrevor.com. You can search me out. I'm on so many platforms. Trust. Whatever platform you think about it on, I'm on it. So get out with me. And for those that are listening, thank you for supporting Miss Diamond Drip, who is an excellent, excellent person. Please continue to support Miss Diamond Drip.
Thank you. All righty. Until next time.